Continue our story of Dookie, Sookie, and Big Mo. This chapter today is The Little Bundle. One morning before the sun was up, Kola came running up the hill path and shook the bamboo gate vigorously, calling, "Big Mo! Big Mo!" Startled out of a sound sleep, Mo arose hastily, put on his outer garment, and asked, "Are you all right, Kola? Why are you here so early?" Quite out of breath, Kola tried to explain. "They're getting ready for a funeral. A young mother died, but the baby still lives. The charm doctor brags that you do not dare to show your face at the burning. He's planning a trick." "Sit down, Kola. Get your breath and then tell me more. You're a good friend to come and tell me." Kola told Mo what he had heard in the village. The charm doctor had dared Mo to come. Something within the big man accepted the challenge. All the pent-up feelings of fight came back to him. He would be there. This would be no ordinary fight, for it was the chance he had long been awaiting. The mission doctor would stand with him, and they could take the matter to the court. "Of course I'm going," said Big Mo. "But little Dookie," questioned Kola, "you wouldn't leave her here alone?" "Oh no," said Mo. "I wouldn't leave her here. It might be a trick, so I will take her with me. If trouble comes, you can watch her. I trust her with you, Kola. On our way, I will ask the woodcutter to care for the cows. We may be late coming home." Soon Dookie, Kola, and Mo were on their way to the village. It was daylight when they reached the main street, and the people were milling about because of the funeral ceremony. "We will go out by the river and hide in the bushes beyond the pile of wood," said Mo. "I wish that Dookie did not have to see this, but we cannot leave her anywhere. I do not know what trick the charm doctor will try next. He is so angry at me." When they reached the hiding place beyond the funeral pyre, they crouched low and waited. Mo fed Dookie some of the rice in the gourd, hoping she would go back to sleep. But the girl was not sleepy. The early hour, the hasty trip to the village, and the mystery of it all made her brown eyes wide with wonder and questioning. "You must do exactly as I tell you, my precious one," said Mo. "Do not be afraid. We know that these ceremonies are wrong and that the God in heaven is not pleased. Somehow I feel in my heart that he will help us." "I will do as you say," said Dookie, nestling her head against his shoulder. "I am not afraid with you here. But I may not be right here beside you all the time. I will not be afraid with Kola." "Here they come," said Kola as he peered around the bushes and the pile of wood. "The charm doctor is leading the way, and there are several villagers coming across the grasslands. What will he do if he finds us here? We will wait and not be afraid." "But are you sure that the God in heaven is stronger than the spirits and the charm doctor?" "I'm sure," said Big Mo confidently. "Did I not tell you that he saved my little girl?" Down behind the bushes, they watched as preparations were made for the ceremony. The larger bundle was placed on the logs and the dry grass and twigs. Then the smaller bundle was laid on top. By this time there was a crowd of villagers standing around. They had come from every direction, some out of curiosity, but others to cry and moan in the usual manner at funerals. The husband of the deceased was there with a small group of relatives. They were watching the charm doctor as he began his ceremonial dance. The husband seemed unconcerned that this was a sorrowful occasion, for he took a drink from the gourd that hung by a string around his neck and joined in the weird chant of the mourners. Big Mo did not like the attitude of the father. How could he be so unconcerned when his little baby was lying in a shroud, waiting helplessly to be burned alive by the spirit-fearing Savaras? Mo set his teeth and clenched his fists. Then he gave instructions to Kola. That grass is very dry. It will burn quickly. I will have to work fast. When the fire has been set, the charm doctor will turn to the people. At that moment, I will rush out, take the little bundle, and run back with it. I will give it to you while I carry Dookie. We will run and hide in the clump of bamboo until the crowd leaves. Then we will go around behind the spirit tree to the woodcutter's home and be safe. Do you understand, Kola? Kola nodded. He still feared the spirits and the charm doctor, yet he believed that Big Mo was doing the right thing in saving the baby. They were close enough to the pyre to see the movement of the little bundle. Kola thought he heard a tiny cry, but he could not be sure. So many people were moaning and the children were screaming. Big Mo heard the cry, and he saw the movement of hands and feet within the shroud. His nerves were tense. He crouched, waiting for the moment. Then he ran. But before he reached the pile of burning grass and twigs, he was stopped. Someone grabbed him from behind, and his arms were fastened in a tight wrestling hold. He looked back to see who had hindered his plan. It was Big Thou, the challenger. What will happen next? We have to wait until we read the next chapter.